How did Zach Bryan go from posting these videos of him singing in nearly 100-degree weather outside of his Navy barracks to him making his Grand Ole Opry debut? I think we're all asking the same question, but we're not surprised by the outcome. See, people have a special connection to him and his music, his passion, his songwriting, his personality. Ultimately, they gravitate towards his vulnerability. He opens up and gets deep. It makes you feel something. I mean, come on, how does this video of him sweating and just belting out his song Condemned not make you feel something?
Don't try to make it's my fault. If you plan on leaving, don't come at all. Lord knows no glory in the fall if no one's around at the end of it all.
He almost forces you to listen to what he's saying. He does this in other songs like Burn, Burn, Burn and his mega hit Something in the Orange. They're both different songs, but it pulls you in and you can't stop listening to him. The best way to describe him is authentic and true to himself.
And that is what makes him so special. What is going on, everybody? My name is Andrew. I'm all about building a community of country music fans and folk music lovers on this channel. So if you like videos like this, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Other than that, let's get into the video. To understand Zach Bryan's ascent to one of the most up-and-coming artists we've seen in a long time, we have to go back to the root of it all, his upbringing.
We can all think that he blew up overnight, but in reality, we don't see the backstory to things. Music has been a passion for Zach for a long time. Zach came from a Navy family and was born in Japan, but grew up in Ulaga, Oklahoma. I know I probably butchered that really bad, but it's a small town just outside of Tulsa with roughly a few thousand people. Zach got his first guitar at age 14 as a gift from his grandpa and took his first inspirations from Johnny Cash, describing how he loved his songwriting style. Zach would eventually go to make his own songs with his friends, but didn't really think he would ever be a musician. But there was one thing he knew: he loved writing songs. Out of high school, he wouldn't pursue music as a career path, but rather wanting to go the Navy route, just like his mom, dad, and grandfather did. When he wasn't loading and inspecting bombs and missiles as an aviation ordnanceman, Zach continued to write songs and post them to Twitter and YouTube.
Throughout his time in the Navy, he would post these intimate live sessions of just him and his acoustic guitar, but it wasn't until Jacksonville, Florida, when he was sent for training, when things really started to ramp up for this guy.
Zach wrote a handful of songs that would be on his debut album, Deanne, and started singing them from the heart and posting them on Twitter. Wow, did things start to ramp up for him. From the beginning, you would see numbers like this to this. Zach talked about his rise during Jacksonville on Grady Smith's YouTube channel. Check it out here.
All those songs on the album I just released, whether people like they were all written within a pretty short amount of time while I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and I wasn't really sure why or like what it was, but I kept getting songs stuck in my head, and I was like, I guess I could play that and see how it sounds, and then that was about it. And then I posted those videos on Twitter, and then people just really enjoyed them, and I guess people resonated with them, and the amount of like support and like messages and things I got from them, and I was like, wow, this is really cool.
With the uproar of positive praise, Zach decided to record the 12-song album over a 2-day period at a nearby Florida Airbnb. I mean, look at this picture of Zach recording with these mattresses in the background. That's just gold. Him and his buddies never expected the album to claim critical fame, but man, were they proven wrong. Deanne went on to be the album where listeners got to take a peek inside Zach's most content moments, but also his biggest heartbreaks. Just like we mentioned earlier, Zach was true to himself on this record, and you really feel that when you listen back to this album, dedicating it to his mother that passed away a few years earlier. Godspeed, Letting Someone Go, and Condemned rose to be the most popular from Deanne.
From then on, boy, did things really go up for this guy. He wasn't just writing songs, he was writing hits.
In just a month after releasing his debut album, he put a video on YouTube titled Heading South. Oh man, did this go viral and create buzz for him.
Stop going south, 'cause they'll let you play music real damn loud. Don't stop heading south.
Views after views kept showing up. He was getting put on Spotify playlists, articles were getting written about him, and he was even getting interviewed on different shows and podcasts. Things were really blowing up for this man while keeping his humble persona of the Navy guy who just likes to write songs. But he wasn't a guy that just likes to write songs. He was something more than that, even if he doesn't want to admit it. He was special. He poured out his emotions in his songs. He put his realest version of himself out there for all to see. Heading South became an absolute anthem for people. I mean, listen to it right now. You want to roll down your windows on an open highway and turn this song up. During the song, the lyrics say, "Don't stop heading south, cause they will understand the words that are pouring from your mouth." In a certain way, I think this relates to what a lot of country music fans are wanting. Zach's fans finally found what they wanted in an up-and-coming artist, and they were craving music like this, with most of country radio songs being almost pop. Country music fans were finding Zach through social media channels and Spotify playlists like Indigo, Breakout Country, and New Boots. Zach had soul, grit, and authenticity, and you really feel it in Heading South. The truth is, Zach's fans have a connection with his music and his lyrics. The feeling you get when you listen to Heading South is, well, addictive. It makes you feel free.
Zach simply wasn't the social media guy anymore. At this point in his career, he put out more heartfelt songs, more EPs, more full-length albums, but then he was forced to make a final decision. Does he stay in the Navy, or does he pursue the imaginable to be a music recording artist?
In hindsight, everyone thought he would be crazy if he stayed in the Navy, and he did eventually get honorably discharged to go full force with being a musician. You could definitely argue that this was the right move for Zach, as his trajectory as an artist has only gone up from this moment. In 2020 and 2021, he released the full album Elisabeth that had his hit single Heading South, as well as an EP called Quiet Heavy Dreams. At this point, if you ask somebody if they've ever heard of Zach Bryan, they would probably respond, "Oh yeah, that indie country artist, right?" But what if I told you that Zach would not be that indie country music artist that everyone knows, but making it to the top of US music charts? I welcome you to the era of American Heartbreak.
Just as you thought that Zach's biggest hit was going to be Heading South, this glorious song came out. You guessed it, Something in the Orange.
Something in the Orange came to be the leading single off of his whopping 34-song album, American Heartbreak. Just like his earlier albums, American Heartbreak took you through a roller coaster of emotions, from the hand-clapping and foot-tapping songs of Heavy Eyes and Younger Years, to the more introspective and emotional songs like The Good I'll Do and Something in the Orange, and so many more. You again see all sides of Zach on this record. He stays true to his acoustic sound, but adds elements of electric guitar, fiddle, and the drums to some of the songs, keeping things alive and fresh. Other songs like From Austin and Highway Boys bring you back to that familiar feeling of being alive and free that was on Heading South, almost like you just want to hit the road with your buddies. But what amazes me about this record is its ability to appeal to wider audiences without Zach compromising his roots. You could argue that this album is Zach being more Zach than ever, whatever that means. For Something in the Orange, he compiled a sequence of videos his fans sent in and used them for the actual music video. Without probably realizing it, he's being loyal to his fans and having them be a part of his journey with him. Just like Zach, his community wants to listen to some good heartfelt music that makes them feel something, and Something in the Orange definitely does that. So much so that it peaked at 21 on the Billboard Hot 100 and hit #1 on the Billboard Top Songwriters chart in mid-2022. It's hard to tell what Zach will do from here, but I know that there's one thing. Zach won't compromise being his truest version of himself in the music world. He'll keep on writing these songs just like he did in the Navy, sweating himself to death, belting out his freshly written lyrics just made a few hours earlier, and he's not leaving anytime soon.
Zach, I just want to say, keep making music that speaks to your soul. You're bringing in a wide audience no matter what their background is, and that is a true superpower. So this was how Zach Bryan went from a small indie country music artist to this.
Before right now, I'm tearing down this town. How being young is so painful and strange.
I just want to say thanks for sticking around to the whole video. If you like videos like this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in my next one. Take care.